Alright, so this video was not planned at all and is coming a bit out of left field, but since I just came back from a lovely 7-day trip with the lads and Letters and needed to make a video quickly, I decided to just talk about a game I've grown to really love in a very short amount of time. The game is called Thank Goodness You're Here, a comedy video game taking place in Barnsworth, inspired by the real-life location of Barnsley, England. It follows a tiny yellow man as he helps the wacky and quirky inhabitants of the town, with everything happening in an effort to take the piss out of everything English, which is quite easy.
And oven chips.
And while the comedy lands incredibly well, what really shines is just how fucking delightful the game is as well. And I just want to preach this small but amazing game for you all, so please, sit back, relax, smash that subscribe button, and hear me out. So the game begins with a small introduction to the town, the people and the attractions. And just like that, the tone has been established for the game.
Family. Romance. Bit. Visit Barnsworth. It's rate good.
Clearly not anything taking itself too seriously. And as we enter the town, that couldn't be more apparent. A mailman is putting mail in the mailbox rather than taking it out as he's supposed to. Another got his hand stuck in a zero grade, and a policeman's just stroking the ever-living hell out of his baton. To hear what every character has to say requires you to slap them, as you do with everything in this game. You slap. It's the game's core feature. It describes itself as a slapformer, meaning you basically just walk around and slap. It's an incredibly simple, but effective and very fitting core mechanic for this type of game. It replaces the generic interact button with something way more fun and works for opening doors, knocking on doors, destroying things, and talking with the residents. The residents are what contributes most to the delightfulness of this game. Every character, big or small, oozes personality and has their own little arc throughout. It'll be a guy trying to make a pie, to another learning to accept his big head,
Horses are red, violets are blue, Roger's got a big head and he's a massive belly.
all the way to the smaller characters, one trying to make a toast, while another's trying to eat his food, but every time you come along, you ruin his fucking day. Literally every character offers something new,
I'm looking for kids.
with most of them having this development, sometimes told through dialogue, like with a man constantly being disturbed by the player as they fall through his chimney, while other times there's no dialogue, with one having his house and furniture sold away without his consent. It's this environmental storytelling that really sells the realness of this town, also established through the world design, connecting every area in the game together through different passages and alleyways, like the layout of Dark Souls, with small tricks the game uses to lead you down the right path. The world just feels real, and all of this is complemented so incredibly well by the music. Written by one of the code directors, where he, as he himself puts it in a behind the scenes video,
wanted something that felt like lazy, kind of like a summer evening when you're playing out with your friends, like before your mum calls you in for tea, but didn't feel too cheesy. So it was a careful balance of like making it feel like a little poignant and a little moving, but not too sentimental, I suppose.
and he succeeds so incredibly well in making music encapsulating the lazy, stress-free lifestyle of the Barnsworth inhabitants, but still feeling cozy and lively enough to be somewhere you want to hang out. My personal favorite is the one playing right now, which is also played in a scene where you're just floating through the sky and this sense of calm just takes over as you watch a worry-free little yellow man floating through the clouds, reminding you to take a breath once in a while. And man, I needed that. The standout for this game visually though is of course the animation. It brings every character to life, everyone feeling distinct from one another, just like their personalities, but still maintaining a cohesiveness in the designs that brings it all together. The facial expressions of the residents and the bouncy feel to the animation, along with the colors that just pop, creates a world you want to come back to and chill for a bit, making you forget about. And then of course there's the main appeal, the comedy. It's a type of comedy that ironically isn't just your average slapstick comedy, with dialogue trying way too hard to be funny. The Hangover. The game doesn't seem to care whether or not a joke lands, things just happen and feeds into the British absurdist humor we see in Monty Python, for example. The game showers you with jokes and for the most part doesn't do repeats unless the joke itself is the repetition. Therefore, it doesn't feel jarring or oversaturated in its joke tellings, as every joke separates itself from one another, causing some to hit while others miss. But mostly, when a joke misses, it doesn't mean it feels awkward or pathetic, as the dialogue quickly moves on without making you realize a joke had been made, unless of course you found it funny. The humor mostly leans into the expectation subversion tactic, which I've always found to work the best, as long as it's executed properly.
It is fucking massive.
It catches you off guard. With comedic timing, I can really only ask you to experience for yourself. Other than that, the game is obviously a parody of English culture, the laid-back attitude about everything and a slang that the subtitles don't even try to replicate.
Maybe it is noon and all of thunder. I don't know.
Makes for a really fun insight into all things British, and is especially fun for those living in the UK, as they will see many references to English culture, some that I even got just from the 4 days I had just spent in London on a holiday. Yeah, that's right, I went to London as a holiday. I don't know why we went to London as a holiday. It's kind of the same as going to Copenhagen on a holiday. Aside from leaving the EU and never coming home, taking the piss out of themselves has always been one of the things most of the British are excellent at, which I really appreciate. Because for me, it shows a deeper understanding and acceptance towards your culture than if you just constantly glaze it, without being able to laugh at the less impressive things. And it ironically makes your culture seem more inviting than if you only talk about the good. And that's exactly what this game does as well. It makes you want to visit Barnsley, or just those parts of England. Because while some may scoff at the carefree attitude these characters possess and are parodied in this game, I see it as a really refreshing attitude to have instead, which I think is what the developers went for as well. Things break, things go wrong, but at the end of the day, that's just how it bloody goes, and we move on. It might just be me, actually probably is just me, but I've really found the game to be a comforting reminder that life moves pretty fast, and if you don't stop and slap the roses a couple of times, you might really just end up missing it. And that's why I really like Thank Goodness You're Here. Aside from all the soppy shit I just mentioned, I do also find it to be a very impressive game with some great comedy that really got some chuckles out of me and many others very goddamn frequently. And that's awesome, plus it's a very unique type of game that I hope we get to see more of. Horror games and fighting games are great, but a bit more of that sweet, pure comedy here and there won't hurt anyone, I feel. If you don't want to play the game yourself, although I recommend it, you can also just watch Jacksepticeye's playthrough. I find his playthrough to work very well, as he notices a lot more of the references to British culture, way more than I and many other Let's Players do. So go watch that, after of course smashing that subscribe button and watching the other great Solomaax videos on the channel. Don't believe me? Well, you're gonna have to watch to find out. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. I will now be returning to our not so regularly scheduled program, as I will be sitting down and watching all 9 Star Wars movies for the first time so I can rank them. I'm aware this video was a bit out of the blue. This was not a planned video at all. I really just needed something to make quickly because I've been very busy with some other things. But I will be back, so stay tuned for the coming videos. I really hope you will. You can do that by subscribing, by ringing that bell. You can also leave a comment on what you think of the game Thank Goodness You're Here and /or the video. Would really be appreciated, and yeah, thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.